Merry Christmas, everyone.
Happy holidays.
It's us, Viva Physical Media. My name's Emalie.
I'm Kevin.
And this is your 30th episode. Last ep of 2021. I almost said 2020. Oh my God.
Whoa, no. We're not still in 2020. It's 2021.
I mean, it feels though sometimes.
A little bit. It's like a whole carryover.
30th episode, last episode of the year. Thank you guys for watching.
Thanks for watching. If it's your first time, comment, hey. We haven't gotten that in a while, so I don't know if we just don't have new viewers or if they're just shy about commenting.
I think they're shy.
Yeah. Don't be shy.
We are here today to talk about some movies. We're at Scarecrow Video.
Yep, we're in the holiday section, which has like some more lights, I think, since last time, so it's a little more festive.
It looks really nice.
I think so, too.
We're in our best holiday attire.
This is my best holiday attire, yep.
This is my best holiday attire.
This is my holiday attire. This is my one holiday outfit. This is a sweater. No, I know. I have that jacket you gave me, too.
Yeah.
Which actually I wish I was wearing because this is really hot.
Yeah, it looks good, though.
Thank you.
Speaking of fashion.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we have some new apparel at Scarecrow Video. We just got these really keen socks in.
They're super keen.
I think they're neat.
I think they're
really
awesome.
Really zazz up your whole wardrobe with these socks. We got two different kinds. We got these with the crow logo, as you can see, and then
these sporty looking ones with Viva Physical Media, which I don't think you can get this shirt anymore, can you?
Yeah, you can get that shirt.
Really?
We'll get the shirt and the socks.
For some reason, I thought this image was a rarity.
No, we have them. We have shirts with that image in stock too. But get those if you're sporty. You get these if you're lazy, I guess.
But get both if you don't know what.
Actually, you should get both because this is good for lounging. Those are good for when you're on the go.
I don't know if I want you to be to take pictures of your feet and send it to us, but if you have it with like a full outfit, then maybe do it.
Or if you put them on your dog or something.
Just put them on your dog. If you have a really small wiener dog or a tiny cat, if you cut the tip off the sock here, you can probably do something. Make it a little outfit. Send that in.
Probably. I love it. Arts and crafts with Viva Physical Media. I guess speaking of gifts, should we give out some? Should we share some gifts with each other?
Should we do some gifts?
We've had comments before that people
love watching us give each other gifts.
People love us giving gifts to each other.
And I love giving gifts. And I love receiving them.
And I didn't have as much time as I was hoping to get gifts, so I got some gifts and some treats for you guys.
So how
do we do this? I'm worried about Rich's knees.
No, my knees will be fine.
That's so sweet. I think Kevin should open his gifts first.
Okay.
Because I like making Kevin go first on everything that we do on the show. This one's from me.
This one's from Emalie, and it's a t-shirt.
It's a shirt.
Whoa, cool.
Be kind, rewind.
Be kind, rewind.
A
cautionary tale.
And it's kind of like a body horror shirt from this cool little Etsy shop.
That's
that I
awesome.
Found.
I love it. Look at this slimy dude.
Yeah.
Thank you. I keep going.
We're not gonna go around.
We're not going around.
We're not at my family's house right now.
Come on.
I got some books.
Ooh,
awesome.
What are they?
It's the RoboCop 2 novelization and the Porky's novelization.
Dude, the Porky's novelization?
This is probably pretty great, but I literally can't wait to read this one.
Yeah, I actually started reading that one a little bit. It is amazing.
Is it? Okay. Sweet. Thanks, man.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Awesome. Merry Christmas.
Yay.
Okay. Now one of you guys go.
And I'll move to this side, and then you can go.
Okay.
I hope my presents are good, too.
Yours are going to be good. I'm going to open yours.
I didn't have as much
Poor
time.
Emily.
Poor.
I know. He means it French, and I mean it sad.
I'm trying to practice my French.
I just mean it is a verb.
What if it was just like a bagged lunch? There was like a sandwich and like an apple and some chips.
Now I wish I'd done that.
Oh my God.
It's a little dog.
Oh my
wearing
God.
a superhero costume. Because of how much you love the Marvels.
Dude, her superhero costume comes off too.
I think so.
You can make your own.
This is so cute. I love the Marvels. NSYNC mini buttons. Oh my God. This is like peak. This is the NSYNC that I remember.
Yeah.
And I didn't know.
Justin's top ramen hair. Okay, so when I was young,
Yeah.
I loved Lance Bass.
Oh, okay.
Is he still trying to go to space?
I don't
Remember
know.
that?
Maybe he's still up there.
Now,
Rich
now
gave
yeah,
me his
this is
cell
the
you can turn my cell phone on and then swipe it, and it should show you a picture of your gift.
It's this pin,
Oh, cool.
this possession pin.
Can you see it? If you can see it, let
I think
I'll
I
put a
even
pic-
looked
I'll put
at this.
I'll put a picture of it up. so you
Who
can
is
see it
this
better.
from? Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And now I keep your phone until I get the present as collateral.
That is.
Is that how it goes?
Wow, that's the Christmas.
That's the compromise we came up with.
That's the Christmas compromise.
I guess I'll open this one first.
Yeah, it's gonna be different than Emily's, but
a little the same.
sort of the same.
Because I have this little guy.
That one's dressed as a cat.
He's dressed as a cat.
Oh my God.
It's a corgi, yeah, I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Where'd you get these little guys?
Well, I got to tell you, I went to a little local place called Archie McPhee. Because, like I said, I haven't had a lot of time to do some shopping and stuff.
We're not done.
Because
Also, this is important because I'll be using this today.
well, your hair's been so lovely all year. And I think, in case you're walking by a group of teenagers and you start getting scared, you pull that
You
out.
see what the toughest saying here in the corner?
No.
You used my comb. I thought I could trust you. Emily's gift, which is also a T-shirt.
It is a T-shirt.
Seemingly.
You didn't know when I asked you guys your t-shirt size the other day.
It's a house.
It's
Nice.
pretty intense.
Nice. That's a lot going on there.
But I hope you wear it.
Crazy T-shirt. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
That's awesome. Okay, and one last thing before we go. Before we end the show. This is from next door over here, so I got 3 of them. It's these
Oh my God.
pastries that look like dogs.
Oh my God, I've seen these on Instagram. Are you kidding me?
They
They jiggle.
well, watch it. They break apart.
Yeah.
But it's a chocolate mousse, and then this is like a chocolate center here. So here we go.
God, you've
So
got
there-
all
and
his little foot's
And
broken.
that's since we talk about the dog movies all the time, and
I'm
it's like
so excited
it's
about
appropriate.
this.
So anyway, so these are, but
Get these cold again.
You guys aren't gonna get to watch us eat these, so I'm gonna cut to the dog father eating spaghetti right
Please
here.
do. Thank you.
So you got some Christmas picks this time.
Yep. Do you
I'll-
got some Christmas picks this time?
I do, and I think I'll go first for once.
Oh,
for
that's
the
really
first
sweet
time
of you.
because
Love
of the
that.
holidays.
It's only fair.
My first pick today is a French film called
Bonjour.
called Le Père Noël est une ordure. Which translates roughly to Santa Claus is a stinker.
Cute.
And this is one that was introduced to me by my lovely Sophie. Hi.
You're lovely, Sophie.
And
That's
she,
so
my girlfriend Sophie is French, and she's from France, the country. And so
Ooh la
growing
la.
up in France, they watched different movies than we did. What's funny is that, like, thinking about like French cinema, like what we think about is, sort of classy stuff, Truffaut
New
or
wave
Godard
shit.
or whatever. And it's not that they don't watch that, but like it's like here where they
There's
have
also other kinds of movies.
they have a popular cinema that is like, not necessarily great cinema. That's just stuff that is very popular.
Yeah,
there.
not everything is like 60s art house Anna Karina.
Exactly. And this was one that she said she grew up watching all the time. And when I watched it, I was like, you watched that as a kid all the time? Because it's like some dark shit.
Oh no.
It's about these people who work at this call center for depressed people during the holidays. I'll just preface it by saying there's a lot of very dark comedy in it. It's from the early 80s. And some of the stuff in it would probably be considered what you would call problematic these days. Having said that, it's actually pretty funny still, too. It's based on a play by this French comedy troupe who is most of the people in the movie. And they went on to make a ton of movies. The Visitors movies. One of them made the Chorus, which was like from 2004, which is like a drama about a boys' chorus. So if you look at their filmography, it's crazy. Basically, this elevator's not working in their building. All these people end up getting trapped in this pretty much in this one apartment. This Santa Claus, mall Santa, who's like a real piece of shit, is like, who lives in a shack with his pregnant wife, like chases her into their house. Then some murder happens. Again, it's all very black comedy. Reading up on this, this was remade here as the movie Mixed Nuts. Or at least the plot of Mixed Nuts
I don't think it's very
taken
good,
from this.
Mixed Nuts.
Right, and this I have not seen Mixed Nuts, but I think this one is probably. I'd probably say this one's better because it's like these people sort of originated this whole thing.
Non, je ne peux pas dire que je n'aime pas Pierre, mais enfin, non, le village est gentil, là, mais c'est l'intervention de cette grosse femme, c'est un petit peu... Enfin, ça va très loin.
Oui, mais c'est là que je me rends compte que malheureusement, Je vous ai beaucoup moins bien réussi que le porc.
I just thought it was a funny one when I was introduced to it as something that somebody watched as a child a lot. 'Cause I was like, wow. But you know, different
Because
cultures.
I'm imagining like baby Sophie watching this bizarre bonkers character drama. Like,
Tête de nœud! Tu vas revenir illico à la maison, toi!
Brosse pas le cul! Je reviendrai jamais au taudis à René!
Tu vas venir préparer la bouffe pour le réveillon!
like
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, my family, we would watch Planes, Trains, and Automobiles every year, and there's the one scene in that with Steve Martin, you know, I want a fucking car right fucking now. You know, where he says
Gobble,
fuck a bunch of times? Right, exactly. And that was always like, as a kid going like, oh shit, that he's saying fuck a
Yeah.
lot. But, you know, and I was a little kid going like, okay, like memorizing all of it too, you know?
all right, fuck, okay.
But this is so much darker.
I've
so.
never even heard of it, so this is awesome.
And now you have it. It's in our collection here. It's a region coded, you know, it's a code 2 disc, but it does have English subtitles. So,
It's in the holiday favorite section.
so yeah, Père Noël et une ordure.
Bon voyage. All right, I'm here to tell you guys about a character of Christmas lore, and his name is Jack Frost. So I'm going to talk about two very different movies, and they're both called Jack Frost. One of them came out in '97, the other 1998.
And
Okay.
neither of them are about the fantastical character who makes things cold.
Neither
right?
one's actually about the character of lore that I just prefaced this with, but they're both about snowmen. I did another thing that I'll talk about in a minute that really took up a lot of my time. So, but I did revisit this movie starring Michael Keaton. Tagline: he's the world's coolest dad, and he's gonna prove it. What? Okay. Michael Keaton is a cool dad. He is in a jazz band. He wears a fedora. He sells out shows all the time. He's hardly ever home to hang out with his son and his cool wife. And
Kelly Preston.
And their dog. Yeah, his cool wife, Kelly Preston. He's trying to get home one day for Christmas. See, I just rewatched this and I'm already like, wait, what happened? This is something that I remember watching when I was a kid and being like, that was a weird movie. And then I haven't really thought about it a lot since. But he tries to get home and he gets in a car accident and I guess he just becomes the snowman in the yard of his son. I don't really know why. But he is the snowman in the yard of his son. And so he helps his son like deal with these bullies by getting in a really cool snowball fight where he's obviously the best at it because he is a snowman.
Because he's a snowman.
And I think, you know what I think it is? He gets into a car accident and then a year later becomes a snowman. And I think it's because his son put his dad's old scarf and his dad's old fedora onto the snowman.
Be careful with those fedoras.
Be careful with those magical fedoras.
Don't just put them on any snowman.
So yeah, basically this movie is just like him during this wintry Christmas week helping his son really come into his own and like stand up for himself and not be super depressed because his dad's dead and everything, and being the dad that he should have been when he was a human, but he had to, you know,
Right.
he had to wait until he was a snowman to do it. And then he melted because snow melts, and it is really sad. And there was like this one scene towards the end. I don't know if you can cut this clip in here.
God. Jack.
Gab.
You can see it in the eyes that he is Michael Keaton under the snowman. You don't have a snowman with eyebrows unless he's Michael Keaton. That's the most memorable bit, is just how frightening Michael Keaton looks as a snowman, but how cool he was as a jazz musician dad.
Do you think if you had like a whole bunch of snowmen and a whole bunch of fedoras, you could like make a whole snowman
Army
ska
of Michael
band?
Keaton.
Oh, I was gonna say snowman ska band.
Their band is called Jack Frost, or he's just, his stage name is Jack Frost, which is funny. There's one quote in it.
Snow Dad's better than No Dad. Let's go.
Come on.
Snow Dad is better than No Dad.
Wow.
Which I guess is true, but then he leaves his son again anyways because he melts.
Okay.
My favorite part of that movie is it's directed by Troy Miller.
Oh yeah, you have a lot. Okay, Rich, I told Rich I watched this movie and he had a lot of insight, so I'd love to hear you talk about it.
And there's a part in it that in the background on the TV is the Ding Dong King Kong Sing Song Burger sketch from Mr. Show is playing.
Oh, wow.
Because Troy Miller directed both Mr. Show and this movie.
Ding Dong Burgers ask real Ding Dong Burger eaters what they think of the new Ding.
There's also different songs that are corresponding with the different chapters in this movie. Chapter 3, Dad's Home. In parentheses, Merry Christmas, baby. Chapter 6, Missing in Action. Parentheses, don't lose your faith.
Okay.
Chapter 11, A Snowman. Couldn't stand the weather. Landslide. Check out Michael Keaton's Jack Frost. It's in the Ho Ho Huh 12 Days of WTF Christmas section that we have up right now.
From our friends the Coriels.
Yes.
Who do their, check out their,
Jack Frost. This is a completely different movie than the one I just talked about.
Jack Frost? That's right. Like in the song, Jack Frost nipping at your nose.
Very cool cover image here.
Yeah.
This movie it's a pretty fun Christmas horror movie.
Yeah.
It's basically like if you were to take Child's Play with Chucky and then put it in this weird town that's like very Twin Peaksy almost. The camp level is insane. The atmosphere of this small town is like everyone knows each other. There's like the sheriff that walks around and they know, you know, there's going to be like the tree lighting ceremony and everything. And so basically the serial killer dies and is somehow now a snowman, much like in Child's Play, the serial killer becomes the doll, Chucky.
Yep.
And then the snowman just goes around everyone's house as they're getting ready for Christmas and murders them. A good late night horror Christmas movie. It would be really funny paired directly with this, which I did not do. I watched this last year, I think, for most recently, and then I watched this a couple of nights ago. So if you do pair both Jack Frost, let me know how that feels in your heart and your mind.
This one has really fun opening credits.
I don't remember.
The opening credits are panning down a Christmas tree, and each Christmas ornament has like a credit on it.
Oh, that's cool.
It's pretty creative, yeah. And this movie's really funny. We did this at our my years defunct show. That if we ever wanted to pick up again,
Animatic Cinematic?
Alicia and Travis, let me know.
I would love
Animatic
to
Cinematic.
see that.
We did Jack Frost for that years ago, and it was really fun.
The town is called Snowmonton.
Okay.
The snowman capital of the Midwest.
Okay, well there you go. Of course, it's going to be haunted by.
Yeah.
And then the same director did Jack Frost 2, which takes place in Hawaii or something.
Yeah, so I haven't seen that one, but the cover of it is basically just like this, but the snowman's wearing like a lei.
So they're just going full camp with it.
Yeah. So you've seen that one?
No, I've just seen the cover.
Okay.
But I
kinda wanna
imagine
maybe
that
I'll grab that tonight.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Which one's better, and which one is more horrifying? Because honestly, the one with Michael Keaton being reincarnated from the clips that I've seen seems like a much more
Wait, have you never
harder
actually
watch.
seen this one?
Hell no. I don't know that I will.
I think overall this one is the more fun, better movie because it's doing what it is wanting to do.
Right. It's not horrifying on accident.
No, it's doing what it wants to do.
Yeah.
And it also looks pretty cool in the way that kind of shitty practical effects snowman.
Right.
This is terrifying because it's a snowman with Michael Keaton's voice and face almost. Oh, also they love hockey too. There's a big hockey subplot, which is cool because my family likes hockey too. Yeah. But he teaches his son how to do the special hockey move before he dies, and then and then there's this one scene where he is a snowman now, and his son is at the hockey game, and he has to travel across the like melting snow on the parking lot to go see his son play hockey. But once he gets there, he's like melting. Once he gets there, he sees his son do the special hockey move and like he like wins the game. And then his son comes off the ice and he's like, "Dad," to the snowman. He's like, "Dad, you're melting. We gotta get you somewhere cool." And it's like a bunch of that happening. I would go for this one if you had to choose, but also this one just for how absolutely bizarre it is.
Oh, I must remember to send flowers.
All right,
What you got in Santa's sack over here?
I was thinking of talking about the movie Dial Code Santa, but our friend Matt Lynch talked about it recently on another program as a Scarecrow guy.
Movie Minute.
Yeah,
is what it's called.
Scarecrow Movie Minute.
We'll link it. But it's a great movie.
So I was like, I want to talk about a different Christmas action movie, and I was like, what's one that like isn't like Die Hard or Lethal Weapon or Kiss Kiss Bang Bang or Long Kiss Goodnight, and those are all good. And I was like, I know one that's people would never think of as a Christmas movie, and it's Invasion USA.
What?
This movie takes place at Christmas time.
Oh.
Yeah. Up here we have, and I'm going to cut to a picture of it.
There he is.
It's Chuck Norris, and we put a Santa hat on. We put a witch hat on him during Halloween. We have a Santa hat on him, and we just do that because we think it's funny. But this movie actually does take place at Christmas
But little
time.
does a lot of us know that this is actually a Christmas movie.
It is the only Chuck Norris movie I like. It is fucking balls to the wall stupid, but that's why I like it, is that it's just the dumbest. It's the dumbest thing. It's basically about communists invading America, and Chuck Norris is the only person who can stop them.
Of course.
And, but it lacks the subtlety of something like Red Dawn or Rambo. The main Christmas scenes in this are, there's one scene where Chuck Norris chases these bad guys through a mall. It's all decked out in Christmas stuff.
A mall during Christmas time is truly a sight to behold.
Absolutely.
It's a special place, and I feel like in like 10 years, no one's even going to know about it.
Nope.
Well, especially when this was made.
Yeah. 1984.
Peak
85.
mall.
Peak mall.
And by this all takes place in Florida, so there's no snow anywhere or anything. So the other scene is this scene that takes place on this suburban street. It opens with a family and they're decorating their tree out front, and this little girl is like putting the star on top of the big tree in their front yard, like this pine tree. And meanwhile, it's showing the whole street. There's like a teenage couple like making out. It's like a little tiny slice of like white Americana, and then Richard Lynch, who's the bad guy in this, pulls up with the other communists, and they're like are sickened by America, and he waits for the little girl to go back into her house.
La ciudad. La ciudad.
And then they just start shooting missiles all over the place.
Oh my God.
In this whole Christmas neighborhood. I gotta tell you, it is hilarious. It's a sight to see. It's so fun.
I want to
It's
watch
great.
this. I've never seen this.
There's so many good parts in this. There's parts where Chuck Norris appears behind other people and he couldn't possibly have gotten there. Chuck Norris is a bad person, but his acting is also very bad, and it's very bad in this, but it works. It doesn't know, it's sincere about it. So it's kind of a great Christmas gift.
From first explosion to last, Invasion USA is stirringly patriotic and riveting entertainment you just can't miss.
For anybody who's looking for something, who's looking for a Christmas action movie, that an unexpected one, check out Invasion USA. It doesn't really lean heavy into the Christmas shit, but every scene there's Christmas decorations around, so it definitely takes place at Christmas time.
Okay.
Invasion USA, the only good Chuck Norris movie.
You heard it here.
Didn't work, huh? Yeah, it will.
So, for my big Christmas movie watching project, I watched all 3 Black Christmases, and I'm going to tell you about all 3 of them.
Whew, compare and contrast.
We'll talk about the original first. The original Black Christmas, directed by Bob Clark. Of Porky's fame.
Of Porky's fame. And also, you're a Clarkhead.
I'm a Clarkhead.
You're a Clarkhead because Death Dream. You talked about Death Dream
And
before.
I do love A Christmas Story, which is also a classic
Who doesn't love A Christmas
to watch
Story?
every year. It runs for like 24 hours on multiple channels.
Christmas Story is great.
And you're a Clarkhead as well.
I'm literally a Clarkhead.
You're literally a Clarkhead.
I'm literally a Clarkhead.
1974. Early for a slasher.
Some say the first one.
Some say the first. I would agree. It's the scariest one. Even before I tell you about the other 2, this one is the scariest one, hands down. Basically, all these women are living at a sorority house at a college, and it's winter break, so some people are going home, some people are staying. They have a super drunk house mother. I forgot the actress's name, but she's very lovable. She like hides booze in like her bookshelf and also in like the top of the toilet. She like is in the bathroom and then she like remembers and then she like pulls this string and then like this little bottle of whiskey comes out.
I love lovable drunks.
She's great. And like
I'm
everyone
drunk.
loves her too. Like the women, the ladies, the girls, whatever in this movie are all like pretty likable, and you can tell they all are like friends and stuff in this movie. So they're all sitting around. The sorority house is all decorated. Some of them are staying. Main character is Olivia Hussey. She plays Jess, she's the one answering the phone every time it rings. For no reason, because the phone's been ringing a lot, and every time she answers, it's this terrifying, it's like legit still scary. I've seen this movie like 3 or 4 times. This creepy ass voice on the other end that is garbled, and then it kind of changes between like a male voice to a female voice to a child voice to like a baby.
He's expanded his act.
Crying, and then also like weird, like kind of digitized sounding voice, and it's just like super unintelligible and scary, but you can kind of gather that whoever's on the other line is talking about someone named Billy and someone named Agnes, and then a kid and a baby and Christmas, and then calling everyone like cunts and calling everyone terrible names and saying how much he wants to like kill them and have sex with them and everything. And it's very, very, very terrifying and terrible. There's also Margot Kidder, who is the other main character in this, and she is just her role is just like the super drunk sorority sister who's just like drinking wine all night, ends up going to bed early and like barfing everywhere, and so she's pretty funny in it though.
I love me some 1970s Margot Kidder.
Oh yeah, no,
Sisters, this movie.
Oh yeah,
Superman.
Yes.
Come on.
Very great. Sisters is one of my favorite movies.
Come on.
So good.
Barb, stop it. Don't shit me. That's what you're all thinking. Why don't you just come right out and say it? You think that I drove her away?
There's another subplot going on during this time where Olivia Hussey finds out she's pregnant with her boyfriend's baby, and she told him, and he's like, okay, you know what, fuck it. I wanted to be a concert pianist, but you know, fuck it. I'm gonna just like drop out, or we're gonna get married and all this. And she's like, I did not ask you to do that at all. I actually was going to get an abortion. So they very freely and openly talk about abortions in this movie, which is really interesting. 1974 is like very early. Even now, I feel like a lot of movies are scared to just openly talk about that stuff.
Yeah.
But she's like, you know, I had a lot of dreams and stuff. Like, I'm going to get an abortion. He's like scary mad. So it's like, oh, for a long time you kind of think he might be involved in this somehow, which I won't tell you if he is or not, in case you haven't seen it. But these phone calls as Christmas Eve evening goes on become more and more frequent, and they eventually get the police involved. Eventually some girls go missing. This father comes to town and he's like, my daughter was supposed to come home for Christmas, she isn't here, like where is she? And they're like, we don't know where she is. Meanwhile, you do see some of these girls get murdered, suffocated with clear plastic, which is really fucked up, and then like dragged to the attic, but you don't see who's doing it. Also, there's like a little girl they found in the park. When they're trying to find this other girl, they find another murdered girl in the park. So all this shit's going down on this college campus, and it's scary because we never get the context of like, who is Billy? Who is Agnes? What is the story that's being like, you know, given to us in bits and pieces, like over the phone? I'm not gonna reveal the end. No. Yeah, lots of great 70s fur coats and like winter wear too, so get ready for that. This is definitely super scary, atmospheric.
All right.
I think it's like the best Christmas horror, to be honest. So
Cool.
I'm a big fan of the original Black Christmas. In 2005, or 2006, excuse me, Glenn Morgan directed Black Xmas.
Black Christmas.
A remake of Black Christmas. And when I first saw this, I wasn't a super big fan, but upon rewatch, this isn't that bad. It's a very early 2000s horror movie where it gets kind of brutal and it goes deep into a backstory that no one ever asked for in the way that like kind of like Rob Zombie's Halloween's kind of did. And this really takes a page from the Halloween, like Michael Myers backstory stuff.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead, I love her.
Yes. She's in it. Michelle Trachtenberg from Harriet the Spy and Buffy, and Lacey Chabert.
Lacey Chabert from Party of Five and Mean Girls.
I've never seen Party of Five, but yeah, Gretchen Wieners from Mean Girls.
You've never seen Party of Five?
No.
With Scott Wolf and Matthew Fox?
I don't know who they are.
Two forest
Hotties?
Dogs and Nev Campbell.
Love Nev. Oh, yeah.
It was a TV show.
I know what it is.
Oh, okay.
So Black Xmas. When you look at it and you're like, a 2006 horror movie, you're like, okay, let's do this. You buckle up, and it kind of delivers. Okay. It has a great opening kill. And instead of a clear plastic bag for the suffocations, it's just a black trash bag, which I go back and forth thinking what's scarier, but both are very scary. So this one has a very heavy, like, Halloween, like I said, esque background where it cuts between the sorority house. It's basically the same story, but it cuts between the sorority house during winter break, and it also cuts to an insane asylum type hospital where it's Christmas, and they're like, oh, this guy's the real, like, this guy's name is Billy Lenz, I think is his last name. And they're like, yeah, he like murders his whole family. You know, every Christmas it reminds him of when he murdered his family, and it does like flashbacks to when he was like this psycho kid in his house. So we get this whole backstory for who Billy is, who's only just like a name coming out of this scary receiver in the first one. Billy, like, had sex with his mom and then had a baby named Agnes who was like really messed up, and then like killed his whole family. So he escapes from the insane asylum on Halloween night because he's gonna go back to the house he grew up in, and that house is the sorority house that all these girls are living. In this movie, all these girls like hate each other. Like they're like really catty.
Well, that's real.
They're just like drinking wine and just like being bitchy. There is a house mother, not as lovable as the first one. She's kind of like scatterbrained and kind of all over the place. And they're getting all these phone calls, and it's a weird thing. It's that weird period of time where there is landlines that are being used, but then there's also like certain people have cell phones. There's the whole thing of caller ID was a big thing then, so they would be like, wait, this is coming from like this person's cell phone, or it's coming, you know, let's star 69 and see like who it is, you know? Right. The phone calls are not as scary in this one. It's a lot of heavy breathing and then like a dude voice and then like mimicking a female voice. So it's not as weirdly like unearthly as the first one. Okay. So it loses that kind of scary edge. One of them has a shitty boyfriend played by Oliver Hudson, who is pretty hot in 2006. I think he's still pretty hot now, but I mean, he's no Wyatt Russell. So he's a real douche. There's no like abortion subplot or like any sort of kind of feminist lens in this one at all. The big subplot for the boyfriend was like he was cheating on her with another girl who's missing, so they think he might be the murderer. What I did love about this is the cinematography in this one was really beautiful. It's the same cinematographer who did Final Destination 1 and 3.
Okay. Wow.
His name's Robert McLaughlin, but he really took use of all the like Christmas lights and the Christmas decorations. The house was like decked out, like garland, Christmas lights, trees, and they really made use of like how the light like reflected on people and like the different ornaments and stuff. And I thought that was really cool. And like long hallways where you see the snow through the window and stuff. There's also some really brutal kills, including like someone got killed and then they took a cookie cutter and made like Christmas cookies, and I thought that was pretty rad.
Okay, that's that's like 2006. Well, Hostel came out 2006.
Yeah, so there was like some pretty brutal kills like that.
Yeah.
Also, if you've seen the movie Bad Ronald, have you seen the movie? There's some weird like in the wall vibes going on in this old house.
Bad Ronald's good.
A lady's head is featured as a Christmas tree topper, which I like. So the brutality and the gore in this was pretty great, as well as like the Christmas decorations as cinematography. And on rewatch of this, I really liked it.
Okay.
I'm definitely not as good as the first one, and it didn't have that same scare factor or like any of the like kind of feminist like social issue stuff, but I still thought it's a pretty decent slasher. Also, it features one of my favorite things, which is a guy who works in the morgue who also snacks while he's dealing with dead bodies. He's drinking a bunch of eggnog.
They're just so over it. They're like,
I know, but I love it every time. I'm just like, no, that's funny. All right, so this takes me to 2019. I think one of the last movies I watched in theaters before the pandemic, or one of them.
Oh, wow.
Sophia Takal's Black Christmas. She hasn't done a lot, but she did a movie that I really liked called Always Shine, which is a very like two women go on vacation together and then they kind of are battling their identities and what, makes them be great actresses in Hollywood and who has the upper hand, kind of like feminine identity, psychological Brian De Palma-esque stuff. And she also did one of those those Hulu Blumhouse movies that are like Into the Dark series? She did one called New Year, New You about all these like influencer women who like have like a sleepover and end up killing each other. So I was really excited for this one, and I don't hate it, but I am firmly in the camp that this could have been a Christmas slasher without having been called Black Christmas.
Okay.
Because it loses a lot of what makes Black Christmas Black Christmas. The phone call stuff is non-existent. There's like a few creepy DMs and like texts in it, but that's not like a main focal point like it was in the first two at all. And there's more supernatural stuff in this one as well. So these girls are on campus and they're trying to like take down this like really shitty misogynistic like fraternity that's on campus who has a history of like date raping people and like being shitty, and it's led by this guy who's like a professor, and they're like, we got to get him fired. So it's very like political, like PC, very like 2019 like online feminism, if you kind of get what I mean. I don't know, which is great. This is where it sucks because it's like, this is a PG-13 movie. They're very like to the point about like, these guys are holding all the power, like fuck the patriarchy type vibe,
right.
which is like kind of cringy in a way, but also I'm like, you know what? I'd rather have this than like not this, And I'd rather have like a 13-year-old girl getting into horror see this shit than not see this shit.
Don't say that this was my fault, 'cause what you did is called assault. Yeah. Ho, 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 I didn't know. Ho, ho, ho. I didn't know, yes, up in the frat house, click, 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 you slip me a roofie and then you're dead.
There's no plastic bag suffocation in this whole movie. At least nothing that's like really obvious. I didn't catch it. A lot of it takes place outside of the house, but there is like girls go missing, they don't know what's going on, but then it kind of culminates into learning more about this fraternity that's also doing some sort of like cultish supernatural rituals involving taking down certain like loud women on the campus. So I do think that this would have been a cool holiday slasher, but I don't think that it has enough Black Christmas. The similarities are it's a group of college women, There's not even a house mother. Do they still have house mothers?
It takes place at Christmas though.
Yeah, but do they still have sorority house mothers? Is that a thing?
I think they do. I don't know.
They did in 2006. A couple things I liked about this one. There is a white cat. I didn't mention this, but in the original movie, there is a white cat named Claude who kind of just walks around and you see him and he's cute, and he also like finds some of the bodies and stuff.
Nice, love it.
Not mentioned at all in the middle one. In this one, there's a white cat named Claudette, so it's a little like throwback, which I love.
Like it. I like it.
Imogen Poots is in this, and I love her. I think she's great, and I do think she did a great job in this. Also, Green Room, if you haven't seen it.
She's fucking awesome in Green Room.
And then some of the camera work in this is also really good. Rather than having a lot of interior shots with the holiday decorations, there's a lot of really kind of unsettling wide shots of usually Imogen Poots, but like just a girl walking on the abandoned campus, and there's like a blizzard going outside, so it's like really quiet, and then you just see like this girl walking through campus, and those shots are like really beautiful. And then there's one instance where there's a very cool Exorcist 3-esque quick zoom. Do you know like what I'm referring to in Exorcist 3, the nurse? So. There's a really scary part in Exorcist 3 where you don't know what's coming, and you're like looking down the hallway at a nurse, and all of a sudden it like there's like a there's like a creepy demon that like chases after this nurse really quick, and it's like kind of like a jump scare. And then similarly, there's like a chase and a quick zoom in this movie that reminded me a lot of it that I liked.
All right.
I liked this when I first saw it. I liked it less this time around in comparison to the other two. And I do think that I will rank original Black Christmas the best. And I think for me watching holiday horror, in this context of holiday horror for this show, I am going to put the 2006 Black Xmas above Sophia Tuchol's 2019 Black Christmas.
Okay.
But I do think you guys should watch all of them.
Black Christmases. Check them all out.
Hey everyone, it's me, the Ailurocinephile, and it's Christmas, so you know what that means. Christmas cat movies. Or does it? I don't know. There's literally an infinite amount of dog Christmas movies, but it's not the case for cat movies. In fact, when I was doing a little research to try to find what to watch, I came across one blog article that was called 12 Christmas Movies Featuring Cats. And it is dog shit. I'm not going to go into how bad it is. Suffice it to say that one of the entries is not even a movie, it's an episode of a children's television program. And another one is a movie that was in development at the time the blog post was written, which was 3 years ago, and it has never come out. So it never came out then or now. Yeah, so to say that there isn't a lot out there is an understatement. There's literally 12 Buddies movies alone. So trying to get 12 cat Christmas movies is, a Sisyphean task. And considering we have all of this around us, here's what we got to deal with. We got Grumpy Cat's Worst Christmas Ever, The 9 Lives of Christmas, or A Gift from Bob. Now these two are on that bullshit list. Bob isn't. So Bob it is. So A Christmas Gift from Bob is actually a sequel to A Street Cat Named Bob, which itself is an adaptation of a book. This is also a book. But to really get to this, we got to go a little bit into the original so you get kind of what's going on. So A Street Cat Named Bob is actually the story of a real life street performer named James Bowen, played by real life actor Luke Treadaway, and how he meets a adorable orange tabby that changes his life, played by real life cat Bob. And so James, as life does sometimes, through a series of events, James finds himself homeless and addicted to heroin on the streets of London. And after a particularly close, real close call, he finally picks himself up. He has a pretty strong support system. He has some people who care about him. And he's able to actually get into a methadone clinic and to get some public housing. And he's eking out an existence, the meagerest of existence, performing, singing on the street, for money. And that's just getting him by. It's paying the bills just barely. One day he comes home and to his hovel, and a orange tabby cat is there, somehow
got in, and it's rifling through his stuff to try to find some food. James, being a decent person, feeds the cat, and then actually literally tries to find who owns this cat. And failing to do that, takes him outside and lets him go, figuring this boy is going to find his way home, as cats do. However, a few days later, the cat shows up again, this time with a festering leg wound. And James, who is living not just like paycheck to paycheck, but day to day, uses the last money he has to take the cat to the vet to, make sure his wound's fine. Long story short, eventually this cat moves in with him. It starts following him around. James just basically takes him under his wing, and he starts hanging out with him. He's following him around. Like, literally, he's not carrying him. He's literally following him onto the bus, walking down the streets to his areas where he goes, and he busks, and he sells newspapers. And eventually, people start taking notice of this cat, how chill he is and cool, and he's just kind of hanging out. And James gets a little local celebrity of this. And eventually this snowballs into a reporter coming to him and asking him if he wants to start or to write a book about it. And that changes everyone's lives forever. So it's a very heartwarming, real story. That brings us to the beginning of this movie, A Gift from Bob, which starts after all of that shit happened. And now, the movie starts, and James is at a very ritzy party that he is very awkwardly attending. He does not want to be here. It's a party thrown by his publisher for all their clients. So everyone there is fairly wealthy, not like what James is used to at all. He gets a shout out from the boss who's like, hey, can't wait to, publish your next book. It's coming out next month, right? Ha ha ha. And James is like, that's enough. I'm out of here. And it's not just because of all the wealth around him. He literally doesn't have an idea for the next book. And it's kind of bothering him. But that's about to change, because on his way home, he comes across a homeless man who's being beaten by a cop. And immediately we know this cop has been a dick to James before in his past. They've had issues. But before anything gets crazy, James is able to use his busking law knowledge, not kidding, to defuse the situation, dunk on that dick cop, and takes out the homeless man for a dinner and regales him with the story that you're about to hear for the rest of the movie, which is a flashback. That's right, the rest of the movie is in the past. And it basically tells the story of Bob and James's last Christmas before the life-changing book deal. We're now in the past. James is back on the street. He is still on methadone. He is still struggling day to day. But he's got Bob, so everything is all right. The movie itself, at this point, isn't really a tight narrative. It's mostly just a meandering series of trials that James has to go through on the day to day. And this is where the movie actually is pretty good, showing this, how hard it is to struggle when you're homeless or just recently homeless. For example, James forgets to turn his heat off before he leaves to go busking for the day. And it uses up all the money he has actually spent and saved up for the electricity. And how a very simple, small mistake like that is just super bad for people who live on the edge of society. That wouldn't affect me so hard, but it could be life-changing and destroying for someone in James's position. And the movie shows this pretty well. As the movie goes on, you see more of these things. It does a good job of showing the daily humiliations and the dangers of being homeless. But eventually, the through conflict is when the shitty cop from the future shows up here in the past. And he's immediately haranguing James about Bob. In the movie, they're the animal enforcement officers, and it's made known that he's been demoted to this because he's such an asshole. So you got to deal with this. So the rest of the movie, the main plot of it is, such as there is James worrying that he's going to lose Bob. And Bob gets sick again. Just like the first time they met, this time he gets sick again. And James thinks maybe it's in everybody's best interest if he surrenders Bob. Maybe it's better for Bob, and maybe better for him.
Please have to give a think.
But just maybe a Christmas miracle could save everyone. And yeah, spoiler, it does. I mean, this is a flashback. We know that the city does not take Bob away from him. But basically, the community comes together. They engage in a letter writing, email writing campaign, and this is where Bob's celebrity really takes off. And eventually, this leads to the life-changing book deal that kind of, changes everything for them. That's pretty much it. The actual movie ends back into the present, where James is actually having Christmas dinner with his friends and the homeless man, and he's legitimately thankful for everything he has, including the idea for his next book, which is this movie. This film's kind of odd. It's not exactly what you think of when you're like, hey, let's watch a Christmas movie with a cat in it, get the kids. I mean, it's fine, but this is no Felix the Cat Saves Christmas, which was on that bullshit blog list that I mentioned earlier. It is not necessarily a great movie to throw down in front of the kids unless you want to have a conversation afterward. But what it is a very good look at homelessness and near homelessness and how society views them. Even if the movie does smash that sentiment home sometimes with the subtlety of a sledgehammer. There are parts in it that seem they're actually from real encounters. Like, I think some of this stuff is right from James's experience. There's a scene earlier in the film where he's at that party that I mentioned, and he's leaving, and he's going to get his coat, and he has this little conversation with someone, and they're like, hey, so are you doing anything special for the holidays? And James is like, oh, I'm just going to hang out maybe with some friends, have some ham with all the fixins, And they're like, well, that doesn't sound so special, which is already a shitty thing to say, but even shittier to someone who literally didn't have any of that the previous year. And James's response is, well, it's pretty special to us. I could see that actually happening. Luke Treadway, acting-wise, is perfectly great as James. He's very affected. Has a very compassionate performance. One thing is James Bond was a busker. So he sang, a lot. And so there's some singing in this movie. And unfortunately, Treadway's renditions are kind of not great.
We go meowing all the way, meow, 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 bells on bobtails ring, making spirits bright. Oh, what fun it is to sing a bobsleigh song tonight.
But that aside, and the kind of maybe overzealous sentimentality about it, it could be a little saccharine at times. Those said, the movie's very sweet, it's very simple, if about bleak subjects. So it's actually pretty good. But maybe not the best Christmas movie if you're looking for some fun escapism, because it is not that. But we haven't talked about Bob at all. So let's talk about Bob a little bit. Bob is a just round orange tabby, just a sweet guy. And in this movie, I didn't mention him very much. He's in it all the time. Bob's in almost every shot. He's on James' shoulder. He's sitting to him next on the couch sometimes. He's sitting over there, always with a look of disappointment. But he's always there. But he doesn't do much. He's just kind of like around. And for that reason, this is kind of the most legitimate portrayal of a cat in a film ever. Just hanging out, laying there. That's mostly what they do. In the first movie, there's a little more antics. There's a little more cat action in it. He was moving around a lot. And in this one, not so much. And I think that has to do with a little bit because Bob's a little older. Also, like I said, the plot's kind of meandering. It isn't as tight as maybe the first film is. But Bob's there, and he's doing his thing, and that doesn't matter. Because who cares? This is what Bob is known for. James would busk and sells newspapers, and Bob would just hang out there and be chill. And that's why he's famous. He's an internet famous cat for being chill. And that's all internet famous cats have to be. Does Long Cat have to be anything more than long? Does Keyboard Cat have to do anything more than keyboard? No. They just have to do the thing that we love them to do. From Maru's box sense to Colonel Meow's majesty. Internet cats are just known for their one thing, and that's why we love them. So right now, I salute you, internet cats. Thank you, internet cats. Thank you. Unfortunately, loyal viewers, I gotta take it down a little bit. It's gonna get a little sad here, so if you want to skip ahead, now's the time. Because this movie does end very happily for everyone. But as those images fade, the text appears on the screen in loving memory of Bob. 6 months after the filming of this movie, unfortunately, Bob was hit by a car and died. He was 14 years old, thereabouts they think, but he had spent his last 13 years with James. And so the Humane Society estimates that 5 million cats are killed each year in this country alone by automobiles. And that is the most unfortunate cat fact. But hey, how about a non-depressing cat fact about this movie? Bob's character was played by no more or no less than 7 cats. Which is weird because all he does is lay around in this movie. Now, there was 7 cats used in the first film. I could not figure out if they were the exact same 7 cats, but let's pretend they are. But like many productions, there's many cats because they needed cats to do specific things. So one cat was taught to jump on Luke Treadaway's shoulders. One cat was taught to sit and not move. One cat was taught to stand and not move. Another cat, was there when they needed someone to run. Now Bob is in the movie, but he's only there for the real close-ups. So if it's a medium shot, an action shot, it's probably not Bob. But any kind of close-up of a cat looking that he's just really disappointed of everything you just did in your whole life, that's Bob. So rest in peace, Bob. God bless you. Now, does Bob know everything that's happened in this movie? Absolutely. Bob is in every scene, mostly. He's half the plot. He helped save this man's life. They saved each other. It's kind of a really sweet, beautiful story. He knows everything. Would this movie be better with less cats? As always, no. But would this movie be better with more cats? As always, yes. My cat.
A crowd can be quite lonely, and the cold, it ain't great. Lights can be misleading, they ain't showing me the way. London town, it shuts right down when the snowflakes hit the floor.
Who let the dogs out?
Now for the moment you guys have always been waiting for. Not now for the moment you've all been waiting for. Now for the moment you've always been waiting for.
Now to talk about a movie that's not about homeless cats.
No, opposite. It's about a bunch of wealthy dogs.
It's actually a bunch of dogs who are the polar opposite of homeless.
The North Polar opposite of homeless.
We're talking about the Santa Buddies, of course.
My name is Mickey Mouse, to my right is Minnie Mouse, and we own a little place in Disneyland, California.
So, all right, well, bucket's empty for
Bucket's
2021.
empty. Last ep of 2021.
Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for everyone throughout the year who sent in videos of yourselves talking about movies. I would like more of that so I could do more of the, don't take our word for it. But thanks Cody Downs. Also, I forgot to thank you last time for sending the Alaska Ambers, which we drank instead of the Suspense is Killing Us guys. So
email us, viva@scarecrow.com.
Yep.
Check out Scarecrow in the store if you're around. We do rent by mail.
Yep.
Our website, scarecrow.com. All the links for all the stuff is below.
Scarecrow Radio.
Scarecrow Radio.
Our podcast, Soundtrack Cinema. Merry Christmas. Coming up is the premiere of your song.
Oh, we're going to do a big intro too. Yeah. My original song, based off of the classic song Jingle Bells. I wrote for this show. My first foray into songwriting.
It's great.
My voice is like an angel, and I hope you guys enjoy it.
Here it is.
I worked really hard on it.
Here it is, the premiere of
Viva Bells / Jingle Viva by Emalie Soderback.
All right, and we'll see you in 2022.
Bye. Viva Physical Media.
Reading your mailbags, rom-coms versus roms, drinking some Rainiers, and talking about dogs. Ho, 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 watch our YouTube show every other Saturday. Rent by mail or come on into Scarecrow Video today. Oh, DVD, VHS, Blu-ray, Laserdisc. Come on, watch some movies here with me, Kevin and Rich. DVD, VHS, Blu-ray, Laserdisc. Oh, what fun it is to have access to all this. Thanks for watching our show on our YouTube channel. Meet Kevin and Rich, talking about movies, ho ho ho, looking through the shelves at Scarecrow Video, picking something out to watch and seeing how it goes. Oh, DVD, VHS, Blu-ray, Laserdisc. Come on, watch some movies here with me, Kevin and Rich. DVD, VHS, Blu-ray, Laserdisc. Oh, what fun it is to have access to all this.